I'm gonna switch this. It's hot.
It's okay. The show's gonna be quick today. It's fine. Well, I mean, quick in the standard of like I don't play Bayonetta, but I mean the drama's something I know about. So
All right, Ruben, let's do this.
mm-hmm.
All right. Put the podcast in the bag. Nobody gets hurt. Play the intro or else. Happy Halloween. Well done. I'm glad you all can follow instructions. My name, I guess I'm not Ryuk. This is my podcast. But anyway, what's going on, y'all? My name is Ryuk. This is Yo Invite, and I wanted to say happy Halloween. Welcome to the show. This is the podcast where we bring together your favorite geeks, gamers, and goofballs into one place so we can talk about all the things that are pushing our culture forward. Today, with me, as always, I got my lovely co-host who is dressed up for Halloween as well. We're going to go over our costumes really quick, but as you know, this man is clutch. This man is a very high level now in Rocket League, and this man is determined to keep pushing forward in the Rockets of Leagues. I'm talking about the one, the only, the true, a lot of pun. Hello, sir. Welcome to the show.
You say welcome like I'm not on every show.
Yeah, welcome. Everyone.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hello, this is my first time here. I've never been here before. It's a pleasure being here. I hope to work with you again in the future.
I don't know what I'm doing.
It's okay. That's how life works.
But sir, happy Hallows Eve or Halloween Eve or
Yes.
Weenie Eve.
All Hallows Eve.
Or
whatever.
I guess this is the part of the show where we go over our costumes. So, what are you dressed as?
I'm dressed as a winner. It's a very self-explanatory costume. I mean, color shining off from this light onto this aside. The Vikings jersey. Technically, if we're getting technical, technically dressed as the best there ever was, Randy Moss. The Moss.
I can't hate
But,
on the Randy Moss jersey.
But I could also work with the current season. It's fine. It's cool. I could work with it. It was 6-1. It's cool.
Nice.
But, what do I see going on over there?
Ah, yes. Well, for me, first
Yeah.
off, yeah.
You're doing it, bud. You're doing it.
I'm several things. Innocent being one of them.
Damn.
Now, due to respect of people's lives and not trying to get in trouble in real life, I cannot fully disclose who I am, but let's just say that these gloves don't fit. You know the phrase. And if you don't, you're probably too young. But, yeah. I'm a burglar. I am a thief in the night. I am Kanye. No, I'm just kidding.
That might be the most controversial thing
that
you ever
could have
said
been
on
who I actually was. Yeah, no.
this. That would be more controversial.
I'm a student of the Donda Academy.
Dang.
Donda.
That
No.
sucks. That sucks.
And I'm looking for a new high school to go to.
Good.
Hey, did you hear about that? How his school is shutting down?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's wild.
Unfortunate for the children who actually got to work close with a star like that, but that's neither here or there. Any other flash news, I guess you could say, that you saw before we get into our official stuff?
Flash news. Anything new that I've seen? You know, I don't know if I have anything specifically. I've been kind of busy grinding at work this week. Been kind of on that grind.
You were grinding and I was sleeping. You can still hear my cold.
For real. That's because I'm going out of town, but I mean, that's a different story.
Oh, I need to get back to you on that too.
Hmm.
Well, we'll get into that. But
Sure.
Anyway, if this is your first time here, listen, I got some things to tell you. Make sure to follow us on all social media platforms, including Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. I'm not gonna say the last one that's shown, but sometimes Twitch as well. You can find us on all those social media platforms at Yo Invite. You can find us on TikTok at Yo Invite Podcast. We're going to be posting a whole lot more stuff. We have stuff in the works, and we have a whole lot coming in the future that I'm pretty excited for. But until it's worked on and tweaked, y'all not going to see. But to be locked in and see what that's going to be, make sure to follow us on all the social media platforms and keep up to date with everything that's going on with Yo Invite and everything going on in the geek gaming goofball world. Ruben, it is time. Are you ready, sir?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
My name is Ryuk, and this is a lot of pun. And welcome to the Yo Invite news segment. Let me make sure I get these music levels right. I don't want it to be too loud because tonight on this episode, we got Ruben kicking things off with some interesting news. Kind of disheartening too, if you want to be honest, but neither here nor there. Ruben, go ahead and kick things off, man.
I mean, okay. Well, first off, I'm sure you know about a little title from Nintendo about a super fun-loving character that summons demons named Bayonetta. Yeah, that's right. I wasn't talking about someone normal. I'm talking about Bayonetta. Probably the most out there character that Nintendo has ever freaking created. So if you guys don't know, not the actual news, but Bayonetta 3 is out. Bayonetta 3 is out on the Switch. Get it if you want to. That's up to you. However, if you're gonna get Bayonetta series in this day and age, you're gonna have to know about the drama. Would you like to hear about the drama?
Of course.
Ah, fantastic. Great. So so the onset of Bayonetta 3. So Bayonetta as a franchise has been going on for since the early, late 2000, 2009. So it's kind of a late series in the Nintendo roster of characters, but Bayonetta has been since her time of her release, kind of like a staple, kind of like her own type of pillar, her own cult pillar in the Nintendo franchise world. So the issue that we have with Bayonetta 3 is gonna have to start with the original voice actress. Her name being Helena Taylor. There it is. Helena Taylor. That's what it is. I don't know why. I think I'm mixing the two names together. But anyways, the iconic voice that you hear from the witch vixen with a demon combo fixin is named Helena Taylor. Yeah, I just came up with that cool rhyme by myself right now. And she came under, I guess it wasn't under fire, but she brought Platinum Games under fire, the company that made Bayonetta under fire, by posting a series of videos on Twitter, basically stating that the company had basically lowballed her on her wages for the third installment of the game, and she was basically insisting that people and fans of the Bayonetta franchise boycott the release of Bayonetta 3, which is, I mean, obviously these are some very serious claims that she's making. So her story and her videos that she explains it is that Platinum Games offered her a rate of $4,000, I believe, for about for the entirety of the game, which would be about 4 days. 4 days. I think it was it's specifically in the original context, about 4 days of recording in terms of lines and things like that. And she said that that number was lowballed, and that like negotiations broke down, and that obviously she's been recast by another actress at this point. But negotiations were at a standstill because they couldn't agree to money and things like that. And so she was telling Bayonetta fans to boycott the game because they were doing her unfair wages and stuff like that. And so originally when the story came out and it was just her side, obviously everybody was getting into a real tizzy about it. And yes, I used the word tizzy. It's that kind of episode. But as it turns out, apparently not everything is as it seems. Every story has two sides. I mean, as journalists, we should know about that, right? Every story's got two sides.
Definitely gotta wait until the full story comes out to report it.
That's what I'm saying. So, apparently, a couple of things went on after those videos were released. One, Platinum Games responded and kind of defended themselves against the unfair wages by saying that they originally offered her, originally there was a higher offer on the table, about $15,000, that she turned down. That she herself turned down. And then they went to the lowball $4,000. So that's an issue right there. That's a flag. Two, after Platinum Games, I believe, went on that kind of like Quell the Storm type of stuff, Helena Taylor then kind of retracted on her original statement, saying that she had stated that they originally had offered her $15,000 and that she had turned it down, which either way is a lose situation for her. If she says that yes, they offered me more money and I didn't take it, then that makes her look like she's wrong. I mean, I'm glad she didn't double down and be like, yeah, no, they totally didn't offer me money, and more serious things would have had to happen. But it seems like this is just negatively impacting her, no matter what this outcome for this was. Right? Like, they either offered her more money and she turned it down, or they didn't offer her more money and they lowballed it. So either way, it's bad. But it seems to be trending more towards, especially since she retracted her statement originally, that they had offered her more money and she rescinded the offer. So all of the hype. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go.
I'm sorry if I would just, I hate to cut you off, but I would like to add a couple things.
Sure.
And folks, when he's talking about she was offered $15,000, I did a little research into this myself. She's talking about, or he's talking about $15,000 through a span of 4 recording sessions that would last from a range of 3 to 4 hours per session. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the article that I read was kind of hazy and back and forth with the situation. It kind of made it seem like it was $15,000 to $10,000 per session or per hour of the session. So it's in between one of the two. Could you answer that question for us?
So what I believe is that it would have been $15,000 through the entirety of the 4 sessions, kind of split up between those sessions, not per each session. So $15,000 would have been the 10 to 15,000. I believe it was 15. Is gonna be, that would be the totality for those 4 days for about 16 hours of work.
Right.
$15,000. That'd be a little over $1,000 an hour.
$1,000 an hour, yeah. Okay.
Essentially.
Thank you. Cool.
So yeah, and I believe there was another article that I had that said that the rate that she, let me see. I know I had it here. Talking about the rate. Oh, actually, it looks like okay. Oh, this is a more in-depth article. Let me read from this one, actually. So Jennifer Hale is the recast voice actress for Bayonetta in the series as of right now. But when I guess I was not accurate, and I apologize. So after Taylor posted a series of videos asking fans to boycott the game, and then like claiming Platinum Games lowballed her for the entirety of the game. I don't know if you've seen the videos, Kel, but I mean, she kind of really tries to be like, I deserve more than this. Like, I'm a beloved, like my voice is a beloved point. Like all the years of training I spent, to do this, and you're lowballing me type of like. She's really trying to get like sympathy on her side, like legitimately. So apparently, how the news came out that she was offered more and she turned it down is by a Bloomberg reporter named Jason Schreier. He published an article revealing that the game company offered Taylor closer to $16,000 for that same part, and that negotiations fell apart because Taylor demanded more money, actually a 6-figure payout with residuals. That's a lot of money. Also, Schreider's story was backed up by another video story called Video Game Chronicles. So there were a couple of sites and articles and journalists doing these same stories and concurrently getting similar information. So, yeah, but as of right now, obviously Taylor's gone kind of completely silent after kind of like retract her original statements. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about all this. Seems like some funny business. And so included in this article is some other pertinent information, such as the voice acting rates for games via the SAG-AFTRA, which I guess is a company, like a industry standard for how to pay different types of voice actors for their works, depending on what type of work they're doing. That be for like on-camera to off-camera performances and singing, dancers, atmospheric voices, and what other additional compensations, background answers, and stuff like that. It gives like all of that information here. And apparently, that $4,000 session wasn't really specifically a lowball, actually. So a usual workday, I guess, on a game pays a standard SAG-AFTRA rate of $956.75. That's about what you get for one session. If you're doing like 3 voices for about 4 hours, up to 3 voices for about 4 hours, you get paid about $1,000, which is limited by union rules to a maximum of 4 hours in a single day. Otherwise, it might hurt the voice actors' voices and stuff like that if they keep doing that, right? So. And I don't know if you know, Calvin, about the Bayonetta series, but it's not really a dialogue game.
No, it's like a Devil May Cry, like go get 'em hack and slash, right?
Yeah,
so
that's exactly right.
I'm guessing voice lines would be far and fetched. Like you have your key cutscene moments, but it's none but a bunch of like yeah, ha, ha, he, like swipes, right?
Yeah, pretty much, or like the same line just repeated over and over again. Pretty much, yeah. So Bayonetta is one of those types of games. I mean, it gets obviously the story of Bayonetta is a lot deeper, but like in a nutshell, there's not a lot of dialogue in the games per se. They kind of let you kind of beat up as many things as you want. And so if Taylor was completing around 4 days of recording, just based on the amount of dialogue that Bayonetta might have, that $4,000 mark might not actually have been lowball. It might have been just accurately how much she should have gotten paid if she does like up to 4 hours, but she'd probably do about a fourth of that depending on the dialogue of the game. So about an hour's worth of work, that's about $1,000 a day for 4 days. That's $4,000. That makes sense to me. That makes math to me. It makes real math. So if Platinum Games was offering like that $16,000 for those 4-day sessions, then they were actually doing her a huge favor. They were paying her basically quadruple what she probably originally could have gotten paid
with residuals.
No, I don't think this is with residuals. I don't think
she's getting residuals. She would have gotten residuals. No,
not with that. I don't think with that.
No, okay.
I don't think she would have gotten because she was demanding residuals. So I don't think she was gonna get residuals for it. Also, yeah, she wanted the 6 figures and residuals.
Okay.
it kind of came to a halt with negotiations and stuff like that.
Imagine if she would have gotten, she probably could have fucking gotten residuals if she just would have kept going.
So, I guess the reason that people are kind of starting to side more towards Platinum Games is because they did hire Jennifer Hale for the role, who decidedly has a little bit more fame and clout at the moment than Elena Taylor did. And she would cost a lot more than Taylor. So why would they need to lowball anything if they hired somebody that was way more expensive? They don't necessarily need to do that.
And that's when the math's not really mathing.
Yeah, that's when the math doesn't really start to math. But hey, Bayonetta 3's out on the Switch, so I mean, if you want to get it, you can get it, man. I'm not gonna tell you how to live your life, but that's not as important as this next story.
Well, I would hope some people would find this next story important because I actually have to go back on something I said a long time ago, I guess you could say. Well, no, you know what? I won't even do that. I'm gonna stand 10 toes on what I said. Cyberpunk, back in the year 2021, 2022, it was awful. But, or no, 2020, 2021, it was awful. But now, in October of 2022, I can say that, folks, it might be safe for you to play Cyberpunk. And now, what do you mean by it might be safe for you to play Cyberpunk? Cyberpunk at the beginning of its release was filled with bugs, glitches, and game-breaking things that would happen to the point that you wouldn't even want to continue further on. Because in situations, you would have to go all the way back to a certain save at the beginning of the game just to make sure you could start over and, you know, get things going on a clean slate. After patches upon patches upon patches, now with patch 1.4, 1.5, and 1.6 coming out within the past couple of months, the game is pretty fun. Now, I am reporting this only being, I want to say, 15 to 16 hours into Cyberpunk. And if you know anything about Cyberpunk with side quests and stuff like that, I'm just scratching the surface. And on top of that, I'm playing it on the PlayStation 4. Now, if you remember what happened with Cyberpunk at the beginning of its launch, you know that PlayStation 4 was probably one of the worst, if not the worst place to play this game. Back then, your character wouldn't spawn in. If you had hair, you didn't have hair in some situations. Yeah, your vehicle, when you called it, would drive right past you and continue on. Guns wouldn't appear in your hand when you grab them. It was just a complete mess. Now, the only thing I could really say about the game on PlayStation 4 is it is a little buggy in the fact that the frame rate doesn't keep up too well because of the explosions. There are still some moments where the game has to catch up in a sense. And, yeah, everything's just dark. Like, it's just, I don't mean to be like saying the game's morbid. I mean, it's just dark. Like, I have to turn my gamma to 70 just to see. Other than that, I'm having fun, especially with the newest patch that came out to Cyberpunk, which was patch 1.6. This came alongside the Cyberpunk Edge Runner series that is released on Netflix, and I gotta say, it is dope. It came with a wardrobe feature, some new weapons and cosmetics that came to Night City, and another quest that actually ties into the Cyberpunk anime for you to go and see. Would I say you should spend $60 on this game? $70 on this game if you have the following: the PlayStation 5, an Xbox Series S or X, a PC that can hang, then yes, buy the game at full price. The story, very entertaining. Keanu Reeves actually delivers a very, very, very well done role as Johnny Silverhand, but it falls off in some places due to the fact that either things were rushed or I don't know. It seems like sometimes game studios could use a bad file or send them a bad recording or whatnot. Like, it sounds like Keanu in some places was putting more enthusiasm into a scene than what the other NPCs were giving off or what the other like characters were giving off. They kind of weren't matching his energy, if that makes sense. The combat in this game, oh my god. Even on PS4, I'm having a ball with the combat in this game. You can go stealth, you can go loud, you can use shotguns, you can use pistols, ARs, fight people, mantis blades. You can make your mantis blades into damn near lightsabers. Look, the possibility is endless, but I will say this, the driving still sucks. The driving is bad, and the only thing I can recommend driving is the motorcycles. Now, give it a shot. If you're looking to be entertained and you're looking for hours worth of gameplay, go ahead and pick Cyberpunk 2077 up. But if you have a PS4 and you have just a regular old Xbox One, I would say hold off. But if you already bought your copy back in the day and you still have it, maybe pop it in. Bear with it. I've had it crash so far twice on me. Now, that's not terrible compared to what it used to do. But just know, tread lightly. Yeah, I can't say too much more about Cyberpunk, except I'm having a good time. And Rudy actually let me get my hands onto his PS5, so I could probably try like the actual upgraded version on how it's supposed to play now. But yeah, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying myself. The Cyberpunk anime was good. That's what made me actually go back and try it. I've heard some good things, like doing research on TikTok, Instagram, and stuff like that, trying to see if like the game's at least playable, and I'm playing it. Yeah,
Good.
that's what I have to say on Cyberpunk 2077 so far. It's officially in a playable state. You might see some funny stuff, but it's a good game. It's not a bad game. Now, moving on to our next story, I'm passing it back to Ruben.
You know, speaking of a game, you just lost it. I'm just kidding. But no, actually, on a little bit more serious note, for the gaming the gaming industry, just gaming entertainment in general. Comcast Spectator announced that the company will be shutting down, and it already has effectively shut down. Gaming-focused G4 TV. According to this article, effective immediately. This was on October 16th when this article was posted. And the announcement comes weeks after major figures of G4 either left on their own or were abruptly let go. So, Calvin, I don't know if you knew about the original iteration of G4 TV.
It was my life!
It was also mine. That station was a place for me to be me before this podcast.
Oh my god, if you didn't say anything that just like was perfect, that was perfect.
Yeah, dude, like every single show was a bop. Like Attack of the Show, God tier. No one tell me otherwise. X-Play boosted. Every show was goated. Facts. And that's because the people that were there were gamers like us, who we kind of like, obviously just through like any media you can live vicariously through, and you're like, oh man, I'm a gamer, I know what this means, I know how to do all this stuff. Like, you feel like you're a part of something, like a bigger type of family type of deal. Yeah. Unfortunately, the first iteration of G4 TV was obviously canceled for a long time. It's been like 15, 16-ish years.
A long time.
Yeah, it's been a long while. Which is why when it was announced that Comcast Spectator was bringing G4 TV back, obviously to TV, people were fucking stoked for it. I was stoked for it. I was fucking stoked. especially at the time it came out in 2021. Obviously, kind of towards the later part, but still in the middle of a pandemic type of era. World where people are still kind of stuck inside, like prefer inside to outside. And especially for gamers who usually are inside anyways playing games. This was just like a match made in heaven. Be like, so you're telling me I can play games, and then when I'm done playing my games, I can watch people just like me play games live on TV? That's tight. I wish I could be that person. Unfortunately, yeah, even with all the hype and all the, like the fanfare for the show coming back, the channel failed to draw back and get the viewership that it needed to kind of continue. And so a year after it was launched, parent company Comcast announced that it would be obviously shutting down effective immediately, which sucks. Because obviously the people that liked it really did like it, but I mean, it just couldn't reach a bigger audience because I guess it is kind of niche a little bit. I mean, there's stuff you can expand in terms of like the gaming sphere and stuff like that, but like if you want to keep the kind of the shows that you were kind of doing, then there's kind of like a direction you kind of go with, like kind of not like excluding, but kind of like losing some people. Like, you're not gonna get like normal people that don't play video games to like suddenly like video games with this shit, like with this like TV show. I mean, maybe, but I mean, it's not likely. They're probably just not gonna understand what anybody's talking about. So, I mean, yeah. And so, apparently, the news got out because I guess it was in an email memo secured by Deadline, who was reporting on this. The CEO, Dave Scott, said the channel failed to gain traction despite an investment. The Deadline article also placed the number of employees affected by the layoffs that happened a couple weeks back at a couple dozen people were abruptly kind of laid off in like late September, and that the company promised to assist them in outplacement and internal opportunities at their parent company Comcast Spectator. Yeah, so I guess some of the reasons that it didn't gain enough traction is because unlike back when it kind of first started, because we got to like remember that G4 TV kind of existed before and at the start of YouTube. Think about that. Like, G4 TV was basically what gamer streamers are on YouTube right now, and Twitch streamers are kind of like right now. Kind of playing games, kind of like doing fun, wacky stuff with us, interacting with an audience and stuff like that. That is what G4 TV was. And now we have like dedicated platforms, and like not even if it's not dedicated on the platform just for it, there is a designated section for gaming on many platforms because people understand that gaming, the audience for games and stuff like that, is huge and super untapped. If you don't look into it, it's super untapped, and you'd probably be losing out on a lot. So everyone's including it now, and so that competition was too much for G4, honestly, and that makes a lot of sense. As much as I love all the shows and I love the nostalgia, like the amount of people I've seen, the amount of content that I consume like right now, like I can't imagine like if I had to pick over like G4 TV over like the YouTubers that I watch or like things like that, I'd probably pick the YouTubers because I just feel I've been with them longer. Like the things they do are a little bit more personal, less of a show space, more of like a one kind of interaction because it's like one person, and stuff like that. But that's just me. So some of the extra drama that's going on that went on with the G4 TV shutdown is that so their status became known on Twitter, and so apparently people on Twitter reported it before the Deadline article about it posted. So some people that worked at G4 TV or were working with G4 TV learned about how they lost their jobs through Twitter. I'm talking about specifically Gerard the Completionist. I don't know if you know the Completionist.
Yeah, I do. I posted his picture on the slideshow too. That was just a terrible way to go.
Yeah, dude. Imagine, because he got his tweet. I think it was Wario64, another official streamer, another official Twitch. Sorry, not Twitch. Wow, I'm off it today. Twitter, official Twitter handle for Wario64. He learned about how he lost his job after Wario64 posted about the Dave Scott email memo that got, has been spreading around everywhere. And obviously there's a lot of support out for the people that were, affected by this. Some other names you might know. There's Alex Golden Boy Mendez, Scott the Wozniak, WWE superstar Austin Creed, aka Xavier Woods, Kasim G, to name a few that were kind of like in the middle of this D4 TV shutdown and kind of like directly affected them and kind of like learned last minute and things like that. Apparently, so Alex Golden Boy Mendez, he's an esports commentator. Apparently, he was in the middle of negotiating a new contract when it happened. That's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of hilarious. You're just in the middle of a contract, be like, okay, I'll take this much, and then they counter with, okay, we're closing down forever. Wait, what? Hold up. No, wait. That's not right. But yeah, it is truly a sad thing to see go. Kind of a piece of nostalgia, a piece of history that I think is gone. And honestly, it's not the only downside that's happening in the video game media space. Apparently, GameStop also laid off a large portion of its Game Informer editorial team, amid its like efforts to kind of like rebrand itself and re-niche itself in the gaming space. Other places like Fanbyte, Fandom, which acquired Metacritic, GameSpot, Giant Bomb, and other entities. You can kind of see the validity of the gaming industry and kind of things are changing. Things are changing rapidly. I don't know exactly what's going to be coming in the future, but just look out for it. It might not be like, obviously things are changing for the better in terms of gaming itself, but look out. There could be some negative effects that we're not even seeing that we might have to look out for in the future. I just want you guys to be aware of that.
And it's weird because they were pushing G4 TV so hard to the point that I thought they were going to start implementing their YouTube channel a lot more. But on their YouTube channel, I feel like they just posted stuff that was just good. You know what I mean? There's a difference between posting things on YouTube that's good and things that are going to stick out to the audience you're trying to aim at.
Yeah, I think most of there were a couple like viral moments that happened on the show that I think they were kind of known for, but that was pretty much it. They weren't consistently like making headlines for things that they were doing or like bringing back nostalgia or like trying to innovate in new ways. Yeah, so yeah, no, it kind of sucks. I mean, there were I read a couple of articles, and some of them like you can kind of tell like who the audience was for. Like I think one article was stating how one of the creators that left voluntarily Indiana Froskerin Black specifically. They were saying that I guess she specifically was trying to use the platform for like political messaging and stuff like that, and she kind of like called out like the audience about being misogynistic and stuff like that, like sexism in gaming. That's what the article was trying to go over, and I don't know if that's true. Obviously, I don't know both sides of the story, but that's what the article was trying to go over, and like basically stating that like people trying to use the platform as like a political platform for things like that kind of eventually kind of segregated the people that they were trying to include, which is gamers, from watching the channel because it's made them seem like they were the problem, and so they went and watched other things, which then lowered their ratings, which then got them to get canceled. I guess there would have been a whole like plug thing, but again, I don't know both sides of the story. I don't know if that's true. What exactly caused it to lower viewership. But yeah, there's a lot of things to think about.
Yeah, if I may add too, when I was doing research on the story, I noticed that for some of the special guests that they were having on for like just a day, the guests would get payouts, or were expecting payouts of upwards to 15K in order to appear on an episode. Now,
and that's Helena Taylor money.
An episode, exactly. Like, you trying to become Bayonetta just for one day of work, and Bayonetta didn't even get that much money for 4 days of work, if anything. So, just like seeing the like the fails on all ends from this platform, like it seemed like they knew what they wanted to do, but had no plan or idea on how it was going to be executed. And once the ball got rolling in the first couple of months of G4, it seems like they kind of lost touch with it. I went from seeing a lot of G4 on my YouTube, just like recommended, to not seeing anything at all within the past year. So it is sad. Ruben, I'm a G4 guy. I'm a G4 kid. Attack of the Show, Cheat was mine. This one always, I always mess up the name of this one, but it's the one where Adam would actually rate the games. You know, you get a 4 out of 5.
Oh yeah. No, what was it called?
Wait, while you do the research on that, without G4, I wouldn't know about some of these games, dude. I would never have played Dead Rising. They made me go get Dead Rising because they said it was a good game. 50 Cent's Bulletproof was actually a game that I noticed on there too. Fable. Yeah, a whole lot of good memories with G4. Even to the point, dude, late night G4. Does anyone remember the Man Show? I know it's, yeah, I know. But do you remember the Man Show?
Yeah, I remember it.
Wild. I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? But even just things like that, like, it was the place where gamers would go find weird, goofy stuff. And I don't know.
I forgot about. Sorry, I'm looking at the shows. And I was looking at. I'm like, man, I remember Attack of the Show, X-Play.
That was the one.
Yeah, I forgot they played American Ninja Warrior on this.
That's where I found out about Ninja Warrior, because Ninja Warrior, okay, you guys thought Ridiculousness was bad. Have you ever gone to G4 on a Saturday morning and had a marathon of Ninja Warrior? And not American Ninja Warrior, that old school, like, real deal, you could get hurt stuff. Like, it was great. Don't get me wrong. I watched every episode and every minute of it. But damn it, I wanted some X-Play.
Oh yeah, I remember. There's this other one. It was called Web Soup. I remember Web Soup.
The Web Soup was interesting. It's funny. I think Attack of the Show was for like the older audience, because every time Attack of the Show came on, I was like, damn it, I don't understand this.
Yeah, I think Web Soup was trying to copy Tosh.0. That's what it was.
Yeah, like. It was something like that.
Yeah, it was like Tosh.0, but like for gamers. Man. Which, I mean, hey, Chris Hardwick was the host. What more do you want, man? Like,
I don't know. It's sad, but hey, when you have all these big names too on YouTube, and then you have someone who's part of the WWE, you're trying to bring all these people together. It seemed like it was working out well, but you have to keep it consistent, especially with these people making their names bigger just by being on this platform, and still trying to keep their name relevant in their own independent areas. Like the person who made me more informed about G4 coming back was the Black Hokage. And you know, I was excited because that was one of my favorite people, or social media influencers I've ever watched.
Right.
But to see like things fall off like this, it's kind of like, damn, now y'all have his name attached to that. I have to do more research. I don't want to speak or put his name on anything. I don't know if he's still attached to G4 by the time all this went down, but
I don't think anybody's attached to G4 right now.
There you go. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's the way things happen. That's how the business goes. I really wish that people would stop having to find out that they lost their jobs or their family members through social media, because
that's what I'm saying.
It's kind of getting ridiculous.
like sometimes you gotta like tell the internet to like chill out, man. Sometimes you
Shut
gotta
up.
like sleuth a little less,
Yeah.
just for like a minute. Maybe just understand that like the things that you post, while it may seem like cool and give you clout, kind of ruins people's lives a little prematurely. I just need you to know that. Like.
Yeah. Because then
Yeah, no.
I can wait. I'm the type of person, I'll wake up and go into a panic first thing in the morning. I'm emailing everybody and their mama, trying to figure out where my money at, where my job go, But
That's all I'm saying.
yeah, man. R.I.P. G4 for the second time.
At least I can watch your reruns.
Yeah, the good ones.
The good ones.
And it sucks because I went to so I'm gonna open my phone. We'll go to G4.
Oh.
I'm gonna go on Twitter.
Oh.
I'm gonna go to G4's Twitter. Okay. G4 TV. I'm on G4's Twitter. Right. I'm gonna scroll down. That's their pin tweet. That's their latest tweet. This tweet was on October 17th, like Ruben said. Some news to share. You click this. And it just says this. It doesn't even have the story anymore. I don't know if it's glitched out or what, but it says, and this is like a joke to me, we never stopped playing.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you know, it's really funny. I went to the G4 TV website, and that's
all it says?
Yep, that's all it says. It's the only thing on the page.
So we can't even read the freaking article. And you did stop playing on October 17th of 2022. It's right there.
It's kind of
trash.
Yeah, I mean, for Comcast, yes. For the people that were actually a part of G4 TV that wanted it to succeed. For the people that were the part of it, yeah, that weren't the parent company that wanted it to succeed. Yeah, we know that you never stopped playing. We know that you're still playing currently, and trust me, we're with you.
Yeah, and support the creators that did unfortunately lose their jobs because they took the time out of their day and their hustle to try to make something happen and make something work. So, you know, be careful. One, be careful with what you put your name attached to, and two, know when it's not your fault. Because they did everything they could.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, man. Ruben. Did you have anything else to say about any of these articles?
Yes, you know, okay. You know, I'm gonna look up something right now. I'm gonna look up something. You know what?
Go ahead.
Use the internet. I already have it open. Go to my freaking thing. Oh. Yeah, I'd like to view the page. Okay. What is this? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, there we go. That's the original. Yes, I'd like to view it. Okay. To be fair, Cyberpunk 77 on Steam right now is $30.
Yeah.
$30.
It's not a terrible game.
I'll admit. Well, okay, it's not even I will admit. Everyone was hyped for that game before it came out. That shit was the shit. No one can tell me otherwise. And when it came out the way it did, it kind of disappointed a lot of people because it felt like all the time and effort they said that they put into that was betrayed. It betrayed all of our expectations. And no one can argue with me that it did not, because it did, and you know it did. And so, I mean, honestly, I think it was respectable of people to not immediately just be like, yeah, we're gonna get this game no matter what, anyways. You see it's kind of like really bad, and so like they kind of force it a little bit to get better, right? To kind of a state where it is right now, sort of.
Oh yeah, it's I would say Cyberpunk 2077 is along the lines of bully them until they do a good job. Kind of like they did with the Sonic movie. Uh um Kinda. In a sense where it's like we are not going to support you if that is what that looks like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So,
I get it.
yeah. Um it's come a long way, but in a sense of the way I'm looking at it is, what is Cyberpunk 2077 truly trying to be? And it's trying to be the first next gen big RPG experience. Now, when I say RPG experience, I mean like the whole open world, the whole environmental system. Um, they did not map their time out well with that game. They did
Uh,
not map their time out well with that game. And you're right, the consumers were right in not making that move to immediately purchase. But yeah, them updates have been chunky.
oh yeah, no, I believe it. I think that since it's kind of released, kind of with the overwhelming backlash that it's been kind of facing, like CD Projekt Red has been trying its best to update and like make the game into what it should have originally been released as, or at least as close to it as it possibly can, with the limitations it might have right now, whether it be staffing or coding or people up top or whatever. Um, do I think that this, like, I'll admit, I'll probably play this game. I'll probably get it at some point. I might even get it now while it's on sale, perhaps. So it's 50% off and $30, and I might play it. Because on a PC, you can do a lot of extra things. Plus, there's this mod for it that you can kind of mod a lot of stuff with it, but that's something different altogether. Um, but like, I love the concept of the game. I've always loved the concept of the game. It was really cool, and I was like, okay, I'm trying to be a part of this. So yeah, I mean, I'll probably give it a shot. I'm never opposed to giving things a shot. I'm pretty good at things like that. Um, and while I won't enjoy those times when I don't know cars fly into space for some reason, I don't know if they still do that or not. Um, or if I step out into nothingness and then the world blows around me, I don't know if it does that either.
Yeah, sometimes.
Uh,
That's the PS4 experience.
well, maybe on PC it'll be a little bit better.
Yeah.
And for $30, I'll feel a little less inclined to be mad about it.
It's
Just a little bit.
It's funny now. My PTSD with Cyberpunk, I've mistaked so many because they have flying cars, like literal flying cars in the game. So sometimes
like, oh,
I'll look up and I'll be like, "Damn it, there it goes again!" Oh,
oh
it's
wait,
an actual flying car. Look at that.
oh, hold up, my bad. I'm sorry, my
Alright.
bad, my bad.
Sorry, guy.
That was on me.
Yeah, man. $30 would not be a bad purchase. If I may,
Yes.
very okay. You're not going to get the Fallout experience with Cyberpunk 2077. That is my great with like Cyberpunk. It's not on the levels of, it's an RPG experience is what I like to say. I keep homing it in as that. I don't think it's a video game, if that makes sense. Like it has the gaming aspects, but like you aren't going to get the same feel with Cyberpunk as you are with Fallout New Vegas. So the Cyberpunk has the inventory, has the like character action, you know what I'm saying? Like upgrades, stuff like that, visuality. But it ain't the courier. You're not the courier.
Yeah. No, I can see that. I mean, obviously, the RPG genre is very saturated. People trying to be the next big new thing. So there are a lot of things that have been done already, or concepts that have been kind of like played out, and that work. So, new RPGs continue to use them for obvious reasons because they work. But in the end, that kind of makes things a little bit more boring, a little bit more predictable. But sometimes predictability is good, especially if you want it. So, I mean, I'm not down to oppose it just because of that. And based on the trailers that I'm seeing, I mean, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Yeah, and there's so many ways you could play.
Ah, yes.
So many ways. I started off my game just being a sneaky like person who
Yes.
tries to do stealth attacks and stuff. And now I've like come to the concept I'm like I want quick hacks and I want to beat people up.
I want quick hacks, quick muffs.
Yeah. So as soon as I hack you and you're like, "Ah, my eyes." I just come in and I'm just like mink 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 mink
With your gorilla arms.
gorilla arms. Gorilla arms. Me
That's all you need to know about the game.
me and Rico have this thing where he's like, "All right, so you got gorilla arms, I'm gonna get mantis blades." I'm like, "Cool. You got to pick the next one you want, and I'll take the other." He's like, "I'm gonna take the projectile arm." So I'm gonna take the mono wire.
Huh, interesting.
Hmm. You have no idea what probably most of that means, but you will after you spend $30.
I mean, I could probably take some wild guesses. I'll probably be wrong, but I could take some wild guesses. I mean,
Yeah. And like, I'm pretty sure if you ask like other people, because I know
no,
plenty of other people have played Cyberpunk, they'll vouch
Mhm.
for it. I remember like when Cyberpunk first came out, there were people who were vouching for it even in its state. So that goes to show you like what type of game that is.
yeah. I mean, I just wanted it to be a masterpiece off the jump, man.
Absolutely.
I wanted it to be great off the jump because it can be great off the jump. There's so much they packed into this shit. It could have been great off the jump, and they ruined that for themselves.
I want to
They
play.
did that to them.
I want to play the tabletop.
Oh, yeah, kind of. That'd be kind of fun.
I want to play the tabletop game. But yeah.
But yeah. Do you have anything else you want to talk about for any of the other articles?
I think just real quick for Bayonetta, the whole concept of what's going on is just like, or not even concept, the whole issue of what's going on is just really interesting. Um, do your math first. If you're, I guess she did do her math, but like, it's just a really sticky situation. Like, even I have trouble saying anything about it just because I feel like voice actors, like, if you set your price, cool. Whatever your price is, your price. Especially with a company like Nintendo, who's known for making millions upon millions of dollars. It's just interesting for them to be like, no, but it. I guess that less falls on them and more falls on the studio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. Just know what you're asking for in your contracts. See what you can do, what you can't do, because you could get away with a lot if you just ask. Especially if you've been dedicated to this franchise for so long. Like, I'm pretty sure if she would have asked, like, "Hey, can I have this, this, and this?" Like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. I just want to make a little more. Yeah, blah blah blah, and then later kind of expand some more things in your contract. But yeah, I don't think anyone was out to like, because I watched her video of her explanation. I don't think anyone was out to fully disrespect her or discredit her or anything like that. I do understand her feelings being very strong, and I don't want to take that away from her. But you got to be careful when you hop on that internet, G. You better be knowing
Yeah,
what you're saying.
yeah, it's a real sticky situation all around. Like,
Mhm.
because obviously, like, things can be argued for both ways. Technically, you can technically argue both ways, whether or not, in general, voice actors are getting paid enough in general for what they're doing. Um, depending on who they are. So, like, in terms of like relativity and fame and stuff like that, like somebody of a bigger name is obviously going to get more money than you. But if you're like an iconic voice for a character, like obviously you should. I don't know. I feel like it should be in a company's best interest to try and keep continuity and consistency as much as they possibly can. And if that means paying you a little bit extra, I'm not saying exorbitantly more, like exponentially more, but like a little more to keep them, happy and satisfied. I'm not saying like like six digits, like Helena Taylor, I guess, was allegedly claiming that she originally wanted based on those articles. But like, if instead of 4,000, which would be like the standard rate of 956 a day or whatever, if you want to offer her, we'll do like 6 or 7,000, which is almost double what you would have made. Because obviously we appreciate all the work and effort that you put into the last 2 games. Your voice has become synonymous with Bayonetta as a character it had, and you know, bringing Bayonetta to life, which made her as popular as she was and created this following that we have now to be able to release a third game. Um, but yeah, I mean, on the other hand, as a creator, don't try and if you don't come with all the facts, the internet's gonna find out. The internet always finds out. The internet is worse than your mom. They will always find out.
And they have not taken many L's.
They really do not.
They have not taken many L's. And if they do, they correct them.
That is 100% facts.
Yeah.
If they correct them and then also make you wrong. They somehow do both those things at the same time. I don't know how they do it, but they do that. Facts.
I just did an editing error. I was trying to make my screen smaller, and then boom, freaking I am the screen.
Boom.
Terrible.
Maximum screenage.
Now Ruben's the screen. Anyway, yeah, I'm good on the articles.
Yeah, I'm good.
Sweet. Anything else to say about anything else? Raiders suck.
Yes. I wasn't even gonna say that. I wasn't going. Look, man. All I know is that the Packers are losing right now, and I'm having a good time today. I'm having a grand old time. As a matter of fact. Oh man. Wow. Packers are doing something. I'm just kidding. No, they're not.
Sorry to cut you off, though.
No, you're absolutely fine. Yeah, Bills are beating the Packers 27-17 with 2:42 left in the fourth quarter. They might punt it right now, so it'll give Green Bay a chance to get in a touchdown, but they're down by 2 possessions with
cool. I can actually
3 minutes left.
catch the end of a decent game because my team is embarrassing.
That's fair.
My coach actually had to apologize to our fans. Like, the hell?
Yeah, Yeah, I'd also apologize after what happened today.
Sorry, we suck, guys. Shut up.
Damn. Oh, on a flash topic news that I forgot until right now, is that apparently Barry Sanders is getting a statue erected of him at the Lions Stadium.
Oh, wow.
He'd be the first person to be immortalized at a football stadium, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Barry Sanders.
That's pretty interesting.
This man was a legend. Apparently, it'll be done by 2023, so next year.
Oh.
We'll see it.
So,
yep.
Depending on who plays, we might have to drive through Detroit.
Perhaps.
Yeah. We don't gotta stay, but we can pop in for an hour.
Oh, I'm sorry. I reiterate. Sorry, the first player in franchise history. I guess that's specifically for the Lions.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah. I was like, actually, yeah. Now that I think about it, there are definitely football players outside of that. Yeah, but for the first time in Lions history, they're getting a statue of somebody, and it's Barry Sanders. Which, to be fair, yes, that should be who you start with. You should start with Barry Sanders. Let people remember the Lions for that, and not
being able to get the small football statue that every other team wants.
Yeah, so you'll need honestly, you only need 2 statues in Lions field. You need Barry Sanders, and you need Megatron, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. No one's gonna doubt. No one's gonna argue with you about that.
That Megatron statue go hard.
No one's gonna argue with you. No one's gonna argue.
Bro,
no one in lives.
Statues go hard.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah.
Also, if I may add in football news, the Eagles need to stop.
I mean, okay. To be fair, who they beat this week?
Everyone.
I said this week.
They beat everyone though.
Yeah,
this week.
I forgot who they played this week.
Wasn't it the?
Oh, it was the Bears.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Bears, but I didn't want.
No. It was no. That was the Cowboys.
Eagles. School.
Let me see.
They played the Pittsburgh Steelers.
They played the Steelers. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, look. Here's what I'm saying. So the only over 500 teams that the Eagles have technically beaten, unfortunately, is my team, the Minnesota Vikings, which are currently 6-1, go us, and the Dallas Cowboys, which are 6-2. Every other team that the Eagles have beaten this season has been a garbage team. We got the Lions, 1-6. We got semi-respectable Commanders. They're at 500, 4-4. We got the Jaguars, 2-6. We got the Cardinals, now 3-5. And I'm just gonna let you know. And we got the Steelers, who are now 2-6. And I'm just gonna let you know, some of those games with those terrible teams were very close. They almost lost to the Lions in Week 1. I need people to remember that they almost lost to the Lions Week 1, and they also almost lost to the Jags Week 4. I mean, the run they're going on obviously is impressive. It's not easy to fucking go undefeated for this long. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers did it for like 13 games last season before they started to crumble.
Something like that.
I mean, I'm not saying that I hope for that. I am saying that, but I'm 100% saying that factually. But I mean, yeah, they're having a good season. They're making good trades mid-season for great pieces at affordable prices now. And I mean, they're definitely the team to watch out for in the NFC, along with some of the. Honestly, it's really weird. The NFC East has really turned itself around this 1 year and this 1 year only. Do you see that?
I've noticed
the
that.
Eagles are they're 7-0. The Cowboys and the Giants are both 6-2.
Mm-hmm.
And even the Commanders are 500. Do you know that the only other teams that are above 500 in the entire NFC that aren't in the NFC East is Minnesota and the Seattle Seahawks.
Which is also surprising.
Do you understand that? You know how fucking weird that is?
They're like, yeah, we came to play football.
Dude, for real. Like, Geno Smith is apparently a guy. Like, all the teams that you would have thought would have been really threatening in the NFC. Buccaneers, 3-5. 49ers, they're 500, 4-4. Rams, 3-4.
Yeah, no.
The Packers.
What is going on?
Three and about to be 5.
Yeah.
Love to hear it.
And then Aaron Rodgers is just gonna go on the McAfee show and just act like nothing's wrong.
Yeah, he's gonna go to the Pat McAfee show and be like, "Yeah, man, you don't do things right. You're not gonna get on.
Gotta align my chakras, you know.
Gotta smoke that. Sorry, what? No,
right.
My bad. But yeah. C'est la vie. That's another week of football.
All right. Do you got anything else to say about anything so far, sir?
No, sir.
All right. Well, that has been another week of Yo Invite. I want to say thank you to everyone for pulling up and coming through. Make sure to follow us on all social media platforms you see below. Happy Halloween. Stay safe. And if you're a parent, make sure to check your candy. And when I say your candy, I mean your kid's candy. And when if you're a kid or if you're younger or you're still trick-or-treating, make sure to be safe. Watch out for people. Make sure to go in a group. Have flashlights. Wear something reflective, even if it's a bracelet. And just keep an eye out for dumbasses, because people like to drive drunk, and I do not support or recommend that. Be safe on Halloween. I personally hate this fucking holiday because I've seen a lot, but that's not to take away from anyone's fun. I'm just gonna be the guy who's gonna be the grandpa and tell you all to have fun and be safe. So take care of each other. Make sure to have fun on a holiday, and please don't be a dumbass and fuck it up for everyone, because we hate people like you. All right, now that I've said that, make sure to check those Reese's Pieces, because I found a full copy of an Xbox version of Cyberpunk in there. And then I gave that to my cousin, and I found a Snickers with Lakers tickets in there. And I don't want that poison in my system. Ruben, fuck it all up.
All right, got some topical humor for you today. All right, so Dracula wanted to know which of his bats was the best, right? So he organized a little competition. The bat which would drink more blood in less time than the others would be the winner. Very simple rules. So the first bat went and came back after 10 minutes. Its mouth was full of blood. Dracula was impressed. He asked, "Nice. How did you do it?" The bat said, "Do you see that tower? Behind it there's a house. I went inside and drank the blood of all the family." Dracula replied, "Very good." The second bat went and came back after 5 minutes. He too had blood all on his face. Dracula was shocked. "How did you do that?" The bat said, "Do you see that tower? Behind it, there's a hotel. I went inside and drank the blood of all the guests." Dracula said, "Fantastic." Uh, Now the third bat went and came back after just 1 minute. There was blood all on its body, all on his body. Dracula couldn't believe his eyes. He's like, "Obviously, you're the winner. How did you do that? How did you get so much blood?" The bat said, "Do you see that tower?" Dracula replied with, "Yes." And the bat said, "I didn't see it." Good night, everybody.
Oh boy. Ow.
You gotta stay topical.
Have a good night, y'all. Happy Halloweenie. Bye.
Bye.